Rudeism recently put out this tweet. Now, Rudeism is a streamer who creates weird materials in order to play games. Like, famously, he used a banana-made controller, literally made of bananas, to play as Winston to try to get a kill.
Very experimental, and when I say very experimental, I mean when I can swing my armies around. I'm just gonna sit around and swing for a bit.
This is hilarious, this is what he does, and he brought up a really interesting fact where he talked about how he breaks developers' intention constantly. Basically, in a lot of the discussions about accessibility and easy modes in gaming, people discuss the developer's intent. What did the developer want you to experience? And so they maybe make the game harder, so you have to learn the process of gaining coolness or power. Rudeism brings up the fact that he's kind of going in the opposite direction. He's making these games harder on himself, which is again going against developers' intent. Now this is interesting because, as he points out, the gaming community doesn't really talk to him about him ruining developers' intent, but we do see that argument when people make easier modes in regards to game design, saying that an easier mode or a mode that's designed to be more accessible for players is a mode that's not the developer's intent and should be ignored. One would say it's okay to make the game harder even against the developer's intent, but not okay to make the game easier against the developer's intent. Why is this the case? I don't know if it's some form of gatekeeping from the gaming community or if it's some form of egocentric view where it's like, well, if the game is easier to beat, it's less of a cool challenge for me to beat it. But regardless, for at least me, that's really helped me understand my developer's intent perspective. I've always felt that accessibility was an important thing to have in games, and now as I'm looking at developers' intent for making it harder, I have done that to myself. In Dishonored, I've done a let them eat cake playthrough where I didn't have any healing items except food, which meant that I had to just... In Fallout 4, I've played characters who wore worse armor so that they could roleplay better. And I mean, in the Dark Souls community, where a lot of this conversation about accessibility comes in, it's very normal to play games with bow only, or never getting hit, or never getting killed, or soul level 1 style of challenges where it's harder on the player because it's a fun way to experience the game. All of these things go against developers' intent. So I don't think Rudeism has solved the problem for everyone or made this argument totally gone, that now we see that an easy mode is against developers' intent, so any making it harder is also against developers' intent. Thus, if we accept the harder stuff, we should then also accept the easier. I think that's a great statement, and I don't think that will solve it for everyone. However, for me, I think that was an awesome, brilliant thing for Rudeism to say. I say you should check him out too, because, I mean, he's playing Dark Souls right now with a single button press. If you have any opinions about this concept, if it changes the way you think about it, let me know down below.